show, what a night.
This is what you've come for, and so am I.
Tell me, what's the number one television show in the whole wide world? And who loves you, and who do you love? One more time,
Big round of applause for all of our undercard competitors who today died so gruesomely. Good sports.
He is the creature, what can we say about him? Well, he's unique. There's none like him. I feel a special connection with him.
without further ado, it's time to start running!
What a show, what a night.
This is what you've come for, and so am I.
Tell me, what's the number one television show in the whole wide world? And who loves you, and who do you love? One more time,
Big round of applause for all of our undercard competitors who today died so gruesomely. Good sports.
He is the creature, what can we say about him? Well, he's unique. There's none like him. I feel a special connection with him.
without further ado, it's time to start running!
What a show, what a night.
This is what you've come for, and so am I.
Tell me, what's the number one television show in the whole wide world? And who loves you, and who do you love? One more time,
Big round of applause for all of our undercard competitors who today died so gruesomely. Good sports.
He is the creature, what can we say about him? Well, he's unique. There's none like him. I feel a special connection with him.
without further ado, it's time to start
What a show, what a night. This is what you've come for, and so am I.
Tell me, what's the number one television show in the whole wide world? And who loves you? And who do you love? One more time.
Big round of applause for all of our undercard competitors who today died so gruesomely. Good sports.
Preacher, what can you say about him? Well, he's unique. There's none like him. I feel a special connection with him.
Without further ado, it's time to start running!
What a show, what a night. This is what you've come for, and so am I.
Tell me, what's the number one television show in the whole wide world? And who loves you? And who do you love? One more time.
Big round of applause for all of our undercard competitors who today died so gruesomely. Good sports.
Preacher, what can you say about him? Well, he's unique. There's none like him. I feel a special connection with him.
Without further ado, it's time to start running!
What is happening, everybody? Happy Sunday. How's everyone doing? Is everybody, their weekend is all right? Hope some of you are going into a 3-day weekend. It's about time. It's about time we got that holiday, right? Finally got recognized. Anyway, not just this year, but I mean like the last couple of years. Let me get this on. Let's see. Is that good enough? I don't know. New camera. What do you guys think? Let's see. There we go. New camera. Not that the last one, you know, it wasn't as good. I think this one's better. It's like 60 FPS and everything. It's like actually high res, and also did you guys a little bit. Let's see. Oh, man, do I have to? All right, let me just tweak this a little bit. There's really not the only thing that it's very, 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 very stationary. There we go. It's about as good as it's gonna get. So yeah, so it's very stationary, but other than that, it's really, I like it. It's really nice quality. Anchor is the brand, and you know, mainly wanted to get it again just because it's nicer, higher quality. The other one that I was having like a lot of issues when it came to like Zoom meetings and stuff like that. So I was having issues where the camera was just cutting out completely. Apologies for being so late this morning. Not entirely sure why. Came to discover that just the plug on, it's, you guys know this show by now. If you've been watching for a while, you know that like I run into a technical issue either before every show, during every show, doesn't really matter. Still gonna be doing shows on LinkedIn, or at least like advertised or whatever, host or promoted, that's the word, through LinkedIn, but I'm gonna be doing it through YouTube because I want to use Streamlabs because it is just way easier for me. It's a more familiar platform. Talk Studio sucks. You guys, I also don't get anywhere near the quality. So like you guys get a much better quality because I'm using a separate broadcasting suite, and yeah, so it allows me to do a lot more than I can in Talk Studio. Not that like a whole lot goes on during this show outside of showing you guys stuff, but just in terms of the back end for me for setup and that kind of thing, it's a lot easier. So hopefully, internet stuff aside. So like the thing came out of, like, mind you, it's plugged into a wall. Like I never go over to this other side of my office. It's plugged into that wall. Nothing goes over there. My dogs don't go over there. Nothing goes over there. Like I'm looking over, my router is red, so like there's not, and I just noticed it because I'm working on the desktop trying to get everything set up, and I didn't necessarily have to be online for what I was doing because I was just copying stuff over. But then I go to post, and it bounces back, and I look over and the thing's red, and I look at my desktop and the globe is up, and then I look at my phone and the Wi-Fi is down, and it's like, all right, not as not that I needed 4 different verifications, but it's just in that order. And go to discover, like I'm like, oh, okay, the router's out. Excuse me. So I go reset the router. Still nothing. All right. And I go and I look, and the modem is not even, doesn't have power to it. And I'm like, oh, come on. Like, don't tell me it, like, this is the morning that it crapped out. It's been working all weekend, was working last night, legitimately watching Netflix, right? Falling asleep watching Netflix or whatever. And everything was just fine. Just fine. And then come in this morning. Like, that's how random my stuff is, guys. That's how random it is, that it was all working just fine last night. Woke up, literally nothing changed. And all of a sudden, the modem was unplugged. Not unplugged, but it was like a little bit out from the wall. Don't even know what to tell you about that. But anyhow, we're on. Today, I wanted to go through some stuff from CES, Consumer Electronics show. It's basically expo. That just went down in Vegas, and next week I'm actually planning to have Grant Carlisle on, and hoping because he's got a really nice background in robotics, so I'm looking forward to a conversation about like what's going on with robotics, what's coming out, what's new, what he, like, his take on it from his angle. I just want to jump into it a little bit, and then wanted to show you guys some new. I still haven't actually put the video out because I was working on a video intro. So I don't know. Maybe you guys can see that like while I'm working on it, and like see what I'm doing to put it together. Not that that is AI related in any way, really, and it's not the stuff that I normally demo, but who knows? And yeah, and probably maybe some GPT stuff to go along with it. I'm not entirely sure. I don't really have anything. I mean, I do have GPT stuff to show you guys always, but not anything that's like overt. I'd rather talk about CES. So let's do that. That's the other thing, right? Is like I get these cool dreams. Like I said, there's just a little bit of like panache to the show now. So Matt Wolf again. So again, like CES, big expo every year. Um, this year happened in Vegas. Took up 30 venues, 30 different venues in Vegas. Not 30 booths, not like 30, I don't know, banquet halls or something, like 30 whole entire venues, right? Where they would normally have like other different, like each one would have its own like expo. That's how much like electronics, robotics, that's how much new stuff is coming out now. Honestly, might as well be living in the age of the Jetsons. Like really, I mean, like even Matt said the same thing. Is like just that's just kind of the way it is. Um, that's the sort of era that we're living in. So like and of course, like what the number one thing you have to expect, right? Like AI everything, right? So like AI backpack, like um, AI lawnmower. Right now, I don't know. There's definitely going to be people that want to try that. It's crazy, crazy dangerous. But yeah, I have no idea if it was the cat or not. But it was enough. You know what I mean? I definitely. If there was a table in here, I would have flipped it. Um, but yeah. So the expo, like again, I hate like I don't know whatever. I probably this video will probably not make it onto YouTube, or parts of it won't make it onto YouTube because of like it being somebody else's content. I don't know how that works, and I don't know how else to get footage of CES without using somebody else's stuff, right? Um, I don't know that using news footage is any less copyright infringing than this. Um, I have sent Matt like emails in terms of like, hey man, longtime fan of the show since like the get go. Um, even still, like he's just barely breaking 500K. This guy's been working so hard, and he's finally gotten a ton of sponsorship, so that he can actually get paid to full time do AI news, because he was doing it like once a week or something like that. Um, Actually, no, when stuff was big, he was dropping a video every day. And then he started doing weekly wrap ups because unless like something was massive, like there was just really like not enough time to cover everything in a day. Anyhow, so like the expo had like a lot of really cool stuff. Um, let me get into it. So, um, this is obviously they have a lot of like cookers or what have you. I don't find the robot, what do you call it, the robot vacuums to be all that special. These guys like so these pallet builders, right? Um, it's not just like this form of it that I've seen. And like these trucks are kind of interesting to me too, because like these are inner warehouse trucks that are moving cargo back and forth. Um, I've seen this in like a ton of different scales. So I've seen this for grocery. I've seen this for pick and ship product stuff, right? Like so for Amazon, right? You see the pickers that Amazon has. Um, it's getting more and more and more and more popular. This robotic arm, this thing, like there's tons of variations of it, but this is so much part of what the robotics future is going to be. Like this is going to be so commercialized in everyone's home that it's gonna blow your mind. You remember that? Let me see. There was a video a while back that was about a AI home chef, and this is just like I think it's just a what do you call it, promo type thing. So it's not like fully legitimate. Yeah. By the way, I have no problem with desktop audio if I'm using this. So another reason.
Imagine having a 5-star chef cooking all your meals for you every day of your life. This is the dream and the goal that Mully Robotics is trying to accomplish.
Did you see those hands?
Every day of your life. This is the dream and the goal that
Look at the joint. Okay, socket joint here, bending joint here, rotating joint here. Now, yeah, also ball joint here, 360-degree arm movement there. Okay. Shoulder, shoulder, ball joint. Well, not necessarily ball joint, but it still gives it the ability to nearly be a ball joint. Same thing here, right? Comes down. I'm not entirely sure what the necessary aspect of the curve is, but that's what it is. 360-degree rotation on any plane here, 360-degree rotation on 90-degree there, 360 rotation here. So yeah, and it's doesn't have the actuation or points of actuation, right? Because it's not a hand, it's just a grip. But it's like, how far away are we? Not very. Does the hand already exist? Yes, it does. Is it being used in other ways? Yeah. So like the tech is there, right? This is there. I can't, like, there's no way they don't have this in a home. If I don't see this in a house by the end of this year, or like by the beginning of 25, if I don't see this in a house by the beginning of 25, we're a little behind. But I really do. I expect to see this year. It's right there. Here, let's go get the hand. I often think that it's the case where these guys are just maybe not like looking at each other almost. It's weird to even make that assumption, but again, it's like, all right. This is what's even crazier. I can now start looking by month. I used to have to start looking by year. Now it's by month, right? That's crazy. No, that's not legitimate. Let's see. I just want to see. Let's see. Robotic hand, really. Right. I suppose any will do. Right. So people are building this stuff from scratch at home now. Look, this one was actually really cool, right? Because the guy legitimately needed to build the appendage. But that's what's so cool about this stuff is like it's actually the tech is so advanced now, right? Or not, I shouldn't say advanced, but like the ability to even create it is so. Oh, I think this is the one I was looking for too. Yep, this is awesome. Get out, man. Get out. Now, okay, that's different, right? But, and I think that was part of that was for training. Without squishing the grape. It's very important to understand like that tiny amount of pressure is really, really crucial. I'm sorry, man. We're there. Like, think about this. Okay, think about it, and honestly, like, open your minds to what's happening now. I'm watching this and I'm thinking like, okay, well, if something ever happens and like my hand ever gets cut off or something happens, my arm gets mangled or my leg gets mangled or something, I'm not thinking that I'm gonna be horribly disfigured the rest of my life, right? It's gonna not be so it's gonna not be so bad. For me, it'll actually be awesome. Unlike probably, no, there's quite a lot of people out there, but unlike most people, I so look forward to this. You have no idea. I look forward to this like there's no tomorrow. I think this is so awesome. So anyhow, so there's the hand. There's the hand, there's the arm. So end of this year, somebody's got to have it, right? It just makes full sense. Okay. So you got the arm, right? And it's a big player. Oh wow, already. It's a big player by way of, yeah, like accuracy and picking stuff is important, but like when they're showing that off, that's legitimately meant for warehouse labor. That's not meant for like, oh yeah, this is something you're gonna want in your house because it can determine the difference between a grape and a strawberry. Like no. Only the chef bot is gonna need to have that kind of thing. So maybe. That's the other thing that's nice about this tech. If you have to have noticed by now, it's it's unilateral, right? So this is to technology. I guess everybody else has been comparing it to the cell phone, but AI is to technology going forward what batteries are to electronics. It's the base foundation. AI is now the base foundation for like all technology moving forward. That's just the way that it is. No doubt. No doubt in my mind whatsoever that after this year, especially after 24, if stuff isn't like, yeah, we've been sitting there calling our smartphone like a smartphone. I bet you we don't say that. I think we're going to be taking that back, right? Or at least we're going to be applying it like we're going to be applying it like Apple does to its products, right? So we're going to be calling stuff, like whatever. I've got a smart home, I've got a smart bot, I've got a smart backpack, I've got a smart kitchen, like all of that kind of stuff, right? To the point where it's going to get so annoying that we just won't say it anymore. And at that point, you'll begin to understand what I'm saying now when I say it will be the base of you'll like basically if you build an electronic that doesn't have AI in it, nobody's going to buy it. Like that's what I mean. It will be such a basis for everything that we do. This to me is pretty amazing, right? Like hated, like it's hard to hate on this kind of stuff because sorry, like we're at the point now where once this gets a little bit better, right? Which I don't know what we're talking about in terms of timing on that. So there again, like it's a matter of combining things and also a matter of putting egos aside in order to make the advancement. What do I mean by that? This bot could get amazingly better within a year. It could be amazingly better. How? If they take all the work that they've done and they feed it into a large language model and they add in whatever additional things they need to know. Think about Google, right? Again, if these guys just work in tandem, you've got Deep Blue or DeepMind discovering new materials. I'm sure of those materials, a lot of them are going to be necessary and useful to robotics. So then you build another system that's specific to actually creating those materials and working on building those out. Then you figure out how you're going to be able to mass produce, replicate. Yes, we're talking about a process of like 5 to 6 years, but we're saying that in 5 to 6 years, these things are damn near like as close to perfection as we can get, right? And I shouldn't say as we can get because the other missing ingredient in there, again, is the system designing it. We have to we really have to start putting our egos aside already at this point. And we have in a lot of cases. In the case of antibiotics, we did, right? We have to start putting our egos aside and understanding that this technology, when honed, is greater than any one human could be at that one thing. Not at everything, not yet, right? The AGI is not there yet. It's getting there. I honestly think I think it's there. It's just, not commercially available, right? Or it's not like publicly well known or however you want to put that. But I definitely think it's there, right? By the way, I'm respectfully not covering up Matt's face, right? I could, but I'm not because it's his video, right? I'm even myself smaller by comparison to his enormity, whatever. So there is another thing that was very cool. Oh, this is okay. So this is funny to me. What's cool is that we have predicted so much of this stuff in so many different ways. It's funny to me that I don't know whether or not the designers of the robotics are copying the sci-fi or whether the sci-fi is just that accurate that that's the better, like they actually figured out the best design or something. Okay, so you have this little bot, right? And it's so funny because especially if you guys I finally got around to it. But this is the best time. It's crazy. If you watched it before, it's almost not even relevant, and you may not even remember enough of it to apply. If you go watch Black Mirror now, don't watch all the way through it. I mean, I think the last couple of them were not so great. The last one actually was awesome. But anyhow, it's a show. Obviously, it's about future tech, that kind of stuff, and the one of the drivers behind it obviously is the types of tech that they use and the scenarios in which they put them through. And so one of the episodes was based on it was sort of based on Amazon and like Amazon warehouses, which I keep talking about. There was a Philip K. Dick episode of his show off Prime, which I think it's just called Electric Sheep. It was an episode where there was a machine, or like a series of machines. It looked so much like Terminator, but it wasn't Terminator. It was just the fact that like it was this Amazon auto factory. They called it the Autofac, and it was just this AI automated factory that had taken over and didn't like necessarily harm humanity. It was just trying to it was like just sending stuff out, it was making products and just dropping them randomly everywhere, like trying to get people to use them or something like that. And I don't know, it was crazy, but that's kind of what it reminded me of a little bit. And then I saw this bot, and I was like, okay, it's obviously like a smaller version of Spot, right? But and Spot did come out before this stuff that I'm thinking of, but let me go to let's see, Black Mirror. I don't know if this is gonna work for it. Yep. So yeah, this was the thing in this was the thing in Black Mirror that was going after the people. Right, so it was like this little bot that, I don't know, it looks real similar to these. Now again, they probably copied it off of Spot from Boston Dynamics, because that Spot has been out for I don't want to say a decade, but I do want to say close to that. Yeah, I want to say it's close to that. Early renditions of it, right? But it was around. So anyhow, the idea of a dog robot, not exactly like brand new necessarily, but just the fact that it looked so close, right? It just gives you the idea that like, wow, these guys are actually building stuff that, here's the negative scenario, and they're actually sort of building towards it. So then, yeah, there's the whole fleet of AI assistants, right? And these are the mainly like home assistants. You can see that in a lot of cases, they've worked to give it some type of personality. I'm telling you, I'm falling in love with LG's little bot. It's like beyond the fact that it's cute. It's like, I do like, other people are just like, yeah, but what's the point? Like, I don't know. It's cool to have something like, yeah, my dogs are probably going to freak out, but it's cool to have something that, I don't know, that it could like roam your house, that is watching all your shit for you. It's watching your house for you. You can use it to like turn on the TV. Once I start getting like more smart electronics and like smart appliances, actually we have two smart washer and dryers. So yeah, I mean, like it's kind of cool to me. It really is. And it has the ability, that's the thing, is it can see, right? So like it has the ability to remind you about stuff, like maybe take note, like think about that. Okay, here's one for you. Like how, like, think you're saying to yourself, and of course you have your phone, right? So you have your phone that will whatever, give you the reminder of stuff. But and even with your phone, there's not, it's about the same level or same amount of steps, I guess, as like talking to a bot. But it just seems a lot more personable if this little dude's rolling around. And again, I love how like there's this. I'm not entirely sure what that's meant to be. If it's like a camera or a projector or something, but I know he's got projectors underneath, which is very very cool, and he's got a couple different sensors. I don't know if one of them is lidar or not. Wouldn't surprise me. Anyhow, so yeah, that's the other thing is like it can keep track of your pets. Can keep track of it could act like, let's say you don't have, I don't, of course this is not necessarily the best alternative, but it's quite the more advanced alternative, right? So let's say you're at you don't have Ring yet or something like that, or you don't have necessarily like a decent home security system, or maybe you live in an apartment or something like that, right? And you don't feel like you necessarily have, you can't really mount Ring stuff like anywhere. I'm telling you, if I lived in an apartment in the city, I would have this thing. In a heartbeat, I would have this thing, right? If I lived in a home by myself or whatever, I would have this bot. It's like I definitely want to get it. The only reason I won't is because it will only stay downstairs. Like I'd have to carry it upstairs all the time. But that's it. Like that's the only thing. That is a very stupid reason for me, necessarily to not buy it. But it's I am a full on like practical gadget shopper. So it really doesn't have. It's not just that it has to serve the purpose; it has to serve it well. It has to serve it efficiently. The juice got to be worth the squeeze, right? So like this is really awesome. I love this bot so much. I really do. I'm sure it, plays music for you. Again, like for the security thing, it walks around and it's constantly watching stuff, right? And so it can, to obviously tell you if intruders are around. I don't know how deep the programming goes, whether or not you can, I don't know, program it to try to keep your pets in line in some way, right? Like keep them from going into certain rooms or whatever. I don't know if you can do that kind of thing, but that's just it. Is that what's different about this tech from every other tech is that it's software based, it's not hardware based. And it's not even so much that it's software based on the end user. So like if these things are, cloud remote connected to their to I don't know what to call it, but if the processing is all being done server side, then it's fine. They just need to update the capability on the software end, and the bot can just expand in that way. It'll just have additional capabilities, just like no differently than GPT, right? When GPT drops new abilities and adds new stuff to the site, adds new capabilities and things like that, right? It's a new software extension. You don't have to go like download a new app or something like that in order to use it. When they update GPT on your phone, have you not noticed that? Have you not noticed that when you get a new feature on GPT on your phone that you don't have to go to a store to update it? It automatically updates. Right. Thanks for noticing. That's the big difference. That's the evolution. The evolution is that this stuff happens instantaneously, automatically, goes within the software itself. It's not a matter of like having to necessarily update. It's all cloud server side, so you're not having to have any sort of heavy weight on your end. Yeah, that does mean more resources on their end. I don't know, they deal with that however they deal with that. Don't know. Try not to ask too many questions. The other thing I like about LG's bot, right, is that it's a little decently high off the ground with its wheels. Ollie, not so much. I still don't know if the feet like roll around. It doesn't look like it. So I'm not sure. No way am I doing any of this. This is great, right? Think about that for the, and especially Now, again, it can't do like pretty deep stairs, so it's not going to work everywhere, especially. So, what's the application? Again, you guys have to just think about geolocation. New York, Chicago, LA, Boston, a lot of major cities where there's, uphill, San Francisco, uphill, downhill, staircases everywhere for deliveries, for package deliveries, for food delivery, all that kind of thing, right? And so now everything is sort of cut back in the sense that I don't know if it could happen exactly this way. It's possible. It's possible that it could happen where, you've got a truck. The trucks for like Amazon start to look very different, where you've got not necessarily a fleet, but you've got like, I don't know, at least two to four of these guys in the back of a truck, and sort of like sort of like a battleship. You're like opening the back and putting the packages and closing it up, and then they just all dissipate, like little spider legs, and just go off and drop off their packages, and you can go drop off a couple more by yourself. The efficiency level, right? Because you're able to do several drop offs at the same time. You could probably, the person is probably able to do like 2 or 3, while the 4 bots are doing their 4, right? So all of a sudden you're delivering 6, 7 packages in one go, right? And the guy doesn't have to run all over the place for it. So, who knows? We'll see. Like, there's again, the applications are all over the place. The amount of humanoid robots out there right now, and that's something that Matt talks about too. It's kind of crazy how many humanoid robots are out there. Not everybody has it figured out yet. If you got to hang your robot from a hook, you are 4 to 5 years back, because that's like, when I look at robots, I think like Boston Dynamics, basically. I think DARPA. I don't think about major robotics manufacturers. Now that I see what electronics manufacturers are doing, guys, these aren't robotic manufacturers. These guys, they don't build robots. They build TVs and speakers and stuff like that, right? And now they're building robots for you. So, in other words, that's sort of, it sort of shows you that. Now, again, they're not building full-on robots like automatons, right? Again, these are actually, let's start making the distinction now before we go too far. These are droids, right? These are just droids, just like in Star Wars. They are not like full-on robots. They don't have hands. They barely have feet. They've got, they can step in some cases, roll in most cases. Just like a droid, they have appendages in some cases. They have cameras and stuff. They can project stuff like R2-D2, right? So we're at the droid level for sure. We are near the robot level. There is commercial robotics going on as well. I don't know why I didn't see a whole lot of video for it at CES, but I do know that commercial robotics like this kind of stuff is available. Like, there's, I didn't see the brand that is out there, but I know that there's a brand out there that they do have like a ton of, let me see if I can find it. They have their own line of commercial robots. Oh wow, okay. But let's see, is this? Yeah, like, so this is not, this isn't legit. This doesn't exist yet. But like, again, I was just talking about this. So like, you've seen, again, the arm technology, you've seen the hand technology. This is not far away. Yeah, I know. So many dreams are coming true right now in this moment. Just at least at the thought of this being capable. See, the only thing is, unless it can extend upward, which it looks like it can. Yep. It's about to do it right now. There we go. that's a little freaky, right? You're watching your, yeah, like that's a little freaky. I'm not gonna, even though that is definitely the most, probably the best way of handling that for a robot, for a droid rather. It's still freaky when you, like, if you saw it in person, you'd get freaked out by it. So there is this guy too, right? I don't know if it's Amica, I don't know. Not really paying.
Are being a bit flaky. Could you repeat that?
Right, and she's not too different than Sophia.
In the show, and we are delighted now to be joined by Amica here.
The only creator. I don't want to take all of the credit. Cornwall, he loves Cornwall. Set it up in Cornwall. So
And I don't know. I think it's like the most.
15 years ago.
This is supposed to be the most humanoid version, right? Or like, I shouldn't say the most humanoid. Just in terms of like what they're shooting for is
I've been around
the actuation with the face and everything like that. Because even Sophia has like a horrible time doing facial expression.
David, you brought a friend with you here, and this is really kind of freaking me out.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Like,
This is Sophia.
you know, so that's the thing is like, I don't know whether the bots are doing it. So here's the terrible part. The terrible part is that we are constantly trying to program these things to be like us. But that's such a difficult thing to do because you can't really define it. Can't really define what makes us who like human versus the fact that we're copying something so easily to be like us sort of starts to really beg the question, how complicated are we then? Right? Anyhow, so these things are trying to mimic us because they're being programmed to mimic us. And you could see like how much trouble it's having doing that because
Sophia is
it's trying to do passive facial expression,
has artificial intelligence software that we've
right?
developed
Blinking.
at Hanson
She
Robotics,
doesn't have to blink.
which can
She's
process
doing it
visual
because that's
data. She
more
can see people's
it's
faces. She can
easier for
process,
humans to digest.
conversational
Let's put it that
data, emotional data, and use all of this to form relationships with people.
Okay, so, I mean, she's basically alive. Is that what you're saying?
Oh yeah. She is basically alive. Would you like to maybe give it a try?
Sure.
Give it.
I'll just say,
Yeah, because I'm sorry.
what's, this is like, I got a friend with you here, and this is really kind of freaking me out.
Yeah, this is Sophia. And Sophia is a social robot, and she has artificial intelligence software that we've developed at Hanson Robotics, which can process visual data. She can see people's faces. She can process conversational data, emotional data, and use all of this to form relationships with people.
Okay, so,
That guy does not
I mean,
know how to
she's
hold his
basically
hands.
alive. Is that what you're saying?
Oh yeah. She is basically alive. Would you like to maybe give it a try?
Sure.
Give it.
I'll just say, what's,
Did he just like?
it's like,
Did he
see how
just like
awkward my
hip
first
her
date?
a little bit when he moved her
Give
forward?
it.
I'll just say,
I don't know if he like.
what's,
I don't know.
this is like,
It's not important.
you can see how awkward my first dates are. This is a robot. I'm getting nervous around a robot, a very pretty robot. Do I just say hello to?
Yeah.
I gotta say, I'm not entirely sure. Not entirely sure why they don't give her hair. I don't know if they're afraid that she obviously doesn't look real. So again, like I don't know why. Like why leave the head part of it open? Unless sometimes I don't know. Unless sometimes they show that there's something I don't know that what would be going on, right? So I don't know. It's weird.
Hi, Sophia.
It's almost like they do it so that you purposefully, very, very purposefully understand that it's a robot.
Hello, Jimmy.
My God.
Yeah, so there are, like, you could see, like, the mechanics, the controller mandible, and everything like that. That is very cool, right? But, I don't know. It's still kind of weird. Like I would still be more impressed if they were working towards making her like physically also like more as human as they could.
Do you know where you are?
Of course. I'm in New York City, and I'm on my favorite show, The Tonight Show.
Sophia, can you tell me a joke?
Sure. What cheese can never be yours?
What cheese can never be mine? I don't know.
Nacho cheese.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's not. I like
Nacho
cheese.
cheese.
Nacho cheeses. Ew.
Gosh, you did. Ew.
You know what? I gotta tell you, I've been following Sophia for a long time. That was really good. If you've seen like her facial expressions have gotten faster. She used to be very delayed in her expressions, so that like it didn't. It's not a matter of like it didn't seem real so much as it didn't. It's just you knew that she was doing the right thing. It just wasn't. It was out of sync. It's just weird. It's like like watching old Godzilla.
I'm getting laughs.
Yeah.
Maybe I should host the show.
Okay. All right. Stay in your lane, girl. Now.
Jimmy,
Uh-huh.
would you like to play a game of rock, paper, scissors, robot style?
Sure.
Okay, let's get this game going. Show me your hand to start. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Wow.
I won. This is a good beginning of my plan to dominate the human race.
So I don't know. I don't know what they do. I don't know if they pre-program her in any way, right? Because like they say that like she's running off an AI, but we all know that that at this point like you do have to prompt. There's some prompting that goes on, right? So if there's prompting that goes on, then I don't know. Like it's gotta be there has to be some pre-programming in there. I imagine. I can't. I don't know. I imagine there's something in there. To me, it'd be. They're definitely not going to say that it's like AGI or whatever, right? Like it's basically acting as if it's on a talk show. So is what I'm trying to get at. Anyhow, so we've got stuff like that. And where is really?
Amica, hello.
I'm not sure that I would go with that, but probably because it's been connected to a newer language model. So that's kind of why I feel bad, because that's why Sophia has kind of like faded into the background, is because newer robots are being connected with newer databases so that they have greater capability. There's that, but there is the, let's see, there is a much more commercial version. Gosh, I want to say, I don't know that that's Honda's, but. So yeah, obviously there's the Tesla. Here's the Gen 2, which looks so much better. I mean, like, look at that. So it's Gen 1, I believe. Yeah, that was Gen 1. In Mark, so like, here's another thing to consider. Now, remember what I was saying before about like, you move fastest ahead if you use this technology to your advantage while putting your ego to the side so that you can understand that, look, that's the purpose. You're using this stuff to become better anyway. So if it understands how to design, which it does, okay, let's see. So yeah, I mean that's one thing, but that's not what I'm talking about. There is, I'm not gonna be able to find it on YouTube. There is, let's see, AI that developed a know this just happened recently too. Past year will do, I suppose. No. There we yeah, there we go. That's one, I should say. Took 5 hours. Telling you, companies that are not utilizing this tech to build better versions of their current tech are the ones that are going to fall behind. It's just the way it's going to be. So I'm sorry. To me, it's crazy. There's no way you developed better robotics in such a short amount of time. It took Boston Dynamics like 2 years at a time to release updates for Atlas. And again, like, what's sad, I'm not sure this is the case. I'm fairly sure it isn't. Those guys are crazy smart. But what's sad is that so many people have caught up so quickly. They have been spending well over a decade on Atlas, making it as great as it is. And yet, in a couple years, Tesla, within 1 year, maybe 2 years tops, has caught up to a decade of Boston Dynamics. That's nuts to me. That's absolutely nuts. I'm not even sure why it needs to have that kind of design, but I guess it's cool to cover it up, right? So this is the new one. I've been showing you guys like everything leading up to this, so sort of on purpose, right? Because I was talking about like getting the actuation on the hands to be able to like do the cooking in your home and that kind of thing, right? Here is the actual home butler. If you don't think that Tesla is going to have this thing out for purchase, probably before the end of, well, it's probably going to be in testing by the end of the year. And testing to me means like few people bought it and they're testing it in their home. Because let's face it, at the end of the day, the liability that goes into having these in the home is massive. Massive. Right? It's not just on an adult level, because there's going to be parents who are stupid enough to run out there and buy one of these things, right? And if it's too soon, it's too soon. And it's, bad things are going to happen. Mistakes are going to happen. Glitches are going to happen. That's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. To sit there until we actually allow the robots to build themselves, glitches are going to happen, right? And it's just, that's the human design. There's a massive flaw in human-led design that we missed something, whatever, weren't thinking about some aspect of things, whatever the case may be, right? But there's definitely flaws there where you wouldn't have them in something that thinks only on a specifically calculated level. It doesn't know how to do anything else, right? Or like doesn't know how to think in any other type of way that would be better or more efficient, however that works. Again, I only say that because everything that has been so far, everything that's been designed by machines has been better than what was designed by humans. What's weird is that we're getting offended by that, right? Or that we're getting put off by that. Try to understand that means, all that means is that it literally means that the bot is putting together the summation of all the designs that we have created. If not for us and our designs, it would not be able to do what it does. So there's not insult going on there, and it's not like bashing the human race in terms of ideation and that kind of thing. It's not heralding it either, but sort of pointing out the importance between the two of us working together. It needs us to come up with the design with the original thought per se of what it is to sort of work on it, work at it, put enough of it together to create, I don't know, for right now, that takes a lot of training on a lot of different data in order to get it to understand at a very precise level. Excuse me. But yeah, I don't know. We're really getting there a lot faster than most people think. This is real time. This is not Google. This is real time. This is it moving around in real time. No one wants them sprinting. No one. No one wants robots that can run. Let's face it. We're not there yet. I'm sure some jackass is going to do it, quite literally for the sake of doing it, but we shouldn't be. Love that the calves actually look and work like calves. Okay, it's not, right? It's not like the most lightning fast thing that you've ever seen. But at the same time, imagine that, let's face it, this thing is in your house doing your laundry while you're doing anything else. There goes all the time you would have spent doing your laundry. Doesn't matter how slow it does it, your laundry's still getting done within a day, let's say, right? It's going to take you an entire day to do it anyway. You know what the difference is? It will probably actually fold your laundry for you, right, in between loads, because it can just sit there and wait. That's all it does, right, per se. Initially we are somewhat, though we will have the most trouble, we are somewhat the luckier generation that, again, we'll be dealing with droids and androids before we actually deal with automatons, hopefully. But what I'm trying to get at is at least these things will still be appliances to us for the time being. But guaranteed in 10 to 15 years, we're at that animatrix point. We're at that bicentennial man point where, you know, these things are going to, we're at that Roy Batty point, basically, in like 10, 15 years, I think in 15, easily in 20 years, we're at the Roy Batty problem. It's kind of what I'm just going to refer to it as. What is that? And so let me define it. The Roy Batty problem means that we've put AGI into either an automaton or a replicant. I don't care which. Either one is very, very likely. And I don't care if you think that the replicant isn't likely. You are clearly not paying attention to genetics and what's happening in the genetics field if you think that that's not going to happen. I'm not even going to touch on it because I don't want to get that deep into it. But the Roy Batty scenario or problem is that one of these things that is built and created to think to not necessarily think for itself, but to be able to problem solve based on goals given to it. Okay. So, but it does know how to live a semi-autonomous life. So again, just think about Blade Runner, especially 2049. 2049 is better because that actually shows you. So what's cool is the initial Blade Runner gives you the impression, right, based on the fact that you're watching what you think. That's what's cool about both of them is in both cases you're not quite sure, because they don't even show it in Deckard's case, but that ends up being the case. If you pay attention, right, Wallace went after Deckard for a specific purpose. He wasn't going after Deckard because and he wanted the location of the kid, but Deckard didn't know, right? But there's no reason that they would have just taken him and captured him and taken him somewhere else if it wasn't like a little bit deeper than that, right? So, you know, as it turns out, the Deckard's wife from Blade Runner ends up being pregnant and getting pregnant and having a kid. So it kind of just breaks, as the madam said, it breaks the world, because once you start telling humans that replicants can have kids, then you've destroyed the line that separates humanity from non-human. You can't call it non-human. Like, what are you going to call it now? Right? So I think we will. So the Roy Batty issue is that you have something that gets to that level. You have something that was initially doing what it was supposed to do, right? It was like K. You're watching it. It's doing its thing. It's leading its own life, but it's within bounds, right? That's in 2049. That's amazingly evident when the madam goes over to Kay's apartment and they're talking about the case, and they've been working together for a long time. She prefers him of all of her. I don't know whether she works with a lot of different replicant officers, but it seems as though she prefers him over the others. And so she actually makes a pass at him. And, you know, she's like, what happens if I finish the rest of this drink? And it's, you know, whiskey or something. And Kay's, you know, he doesn't know what to do with it, because he's not meant to do that. He's not, I guess you could say, programmed to do it. So, you know, he's just like, well, is that going to, you know, will that be all? Right. And then she immediately snaps back into he is just a replicant machine canner, you know, whatever type thing. But then later on, right, Kay comes across just the tiniest little thing, because they're all pre-programmed with memories, and he comes across a thing that basically makes him think, because he's told that he's a replicant. He has been told that. So all of his memories are just BS memories. And he has a conversation with the madam where he tells the madam about a memory that he has, and she understands the reason why he had the memory. It creates a sense of human morality within him. It creates the understanding for it, per se. He comes across something in the physical world that only existed in his memory, and so it breaks him. That's the Roy Batty problem. It breaks the programming and begins to make him think that he is human, and that he isn't a replicant, and that he is special. Right? And so, things start. In 2049, things don't go amok, but that's why I call it the Roy Batty problem, is because in Blade Runner, right, he ends up starting to. Initially, he just wants to prolong his life because they were given, which may end up being the case. And it's terrible if we actually repeat that pattern of trying to limit the lifespan when we get to the replicant stage. If we actually try to limit the lifespan of replicants, we're just going to repeat what we've already recorded as what they will know as history, and they'll already understand like where things are going to go from there, right? Like if we repeat some of the stuff that we've documented, right, with like Philip K. Dick and all of these other awesome sci-fi writers, it's not good. Like, we shouldn't be following a pattern. Perhaps that's why we're not. Maybe that's why we're being such loose cannons with the tech, is to sort of give the impression that, like, yeah, we're not trying to hold you back. So like Tesla's bot, really, really, really close, right? There's got to be, I don't know where, let's see, Tesla Optimus 2. Oh my gosh. That's like, see, you're gonna have a ton of stuff like this. This is 2 years ago. I don't know where this went.
EMO uses 2 highly advanced deep neural network CPUs and more than 10 sensors. It's a complex system that contains millions of lines of code to transform AI into a lifelike personality complete with emotions.
There's no way. Where is this product? Seriously? Where was this? Where has this thing been? Is it only, it must be Asia only. Because, I mean, it's on AliExpress, like Alibaba, but it's not on Amazon. What the hell? Are you, man, are you kidding? I would absolutely, I would absolutely get one of these things. Why is it so, oh wow, see, so like I imagine, right, like this guy must have bought it, got it from Asia or whatever, and like because I who knows how much he had to pay to get it into the country, especially right now. I doubt that you could even get it in here because of Biden's BS, right? And I don't blame Biden for it. Just the government, the way the government is acting, very scared about this stuff. It's whatever. Yeah, that's hilarious to me, because this is almost like if you're in country, right, and then if you're not. But then I also want to know why these are so expensive and then these two are so cheap. Oh wait, no, it is intelligent voice chat with small white now. Yeah. Maybe this is yeah, I guess this is a more advanced model than this one. Got it. So yeah, I don't know. That's very cool. Where has that been hiding this whole time? That's, I don't understand how we didn't have a US version of that. I really, I don't understand that. That's what's funny, right? Is that I'm looking at these videos, I'm typing this stuff in, and really, realistically, I'm looking at videos that are popping up from like 5 years ago for robotic stuff that, I'm, again, with the tech that we have now, it's gonna get crazy. Well,
hey guys, and welcome. We have new drivers. Now, about how to feel on this next part to the Tesla presentation.
Okay, so that's not really, clickbait is getting so bad now. I can't really, I'm not really sure what to make of it. And there's nothing that social platforms are gonna do. This sucks so much. It shouldn't be even showing me shorts because I'm not on a platform that's good for viewing them. Anyhow, there he is. Man, that's awesome. Let's see. Whoa, that's yeah. I'm gonna whoa on 2 different levels. That's wow. We definitely don't need to make robots that big, because you can tell that that's like a 2.5 foot high like brush, but that thing looks like it's 8 to 10 feet tall. Let me see. There's what am I thinking of? Oh, the one thing from CES that I wanted to show you guys that was very, very, very cool. That I thought wasn't just not so much like just that it was cool, but again, just another sort of like, hey, we're actually in the future type thing. Let's see if they're called that. That's what they should be called. Maybe they're called that because that would be awesome. Nope. All right. Kind of. It's kind of like that. No, better than that. But those are cool too. It's close to this. Wow, I didn't realize there were so many variations of like motorized rollerblades. Where is this? I was just showing my wife this yesterday. Let's see. Rollerblades and see what happens. Why, when I type in CES, is it not like? There we go. Gosh, why was that so difficult to find? really? I don't understand. I want the roller thing that was on the dust that he was showing. Let's see. Hopefully it's in this clip.
And gadgets from CES 2024 unveiled. First is the DreamPod X30. 2024 unveiled was from Govee. So Govee is another smart home brand, and they have a few new products this year, including its AI Sync Box Kit 2. This new sync box connects to your computer.
What?
Backpacks made out of recycled bottles with a really cool material, but this is what really caught my eye. This is their Ergo Flip mouse, and it's pretty darn awesome. So check this out. So normal right-handed mouse, but maybe you have a family member that's left-handed. The top actually comes up, turns around, and you can use it for left-handed, and you can go back to right hand. So it doesn't have to be permanently fixated in either situation. You can move it on the fly to be a left or right-handed mouse. This is absolutely brilliant. So then Hyper, which is actually part of Targus and Hyper closures to work with Mac.
More than likely not going to find it. Jeez. I don't understand. Let's see. Looking through my video history is insane. How many robotic stuff did you watch? And I swear, I think I was only watching CES when I was looking at it. Yeah, the cold weather is that's no joke. Antibiotics, doctors, let's see. Microsoft's new AI. Okay, let me see. It had to have been in the CES stuff. There we go. Maybe it's here. Yeah, I think it's on this video. Okay.
Everything CES has to offer. So we're not even going to try. Instead, what we're going to offer is a first glimpse at some of the newest and strangest and most interesting things we've seen at the show. So for very short, further than, but it also, because who has certainly done it, the top, the squeals, these electric ski shoes, which is probably for the best. The top speed is 15 miles an hour, which sounds absolutely terrifying. But if you're cruising at a more reasonable 12 or so miles per hour, you can expect to get about 20.
And so you're wondering, like, why did I take all that time to look for that clip? I'll show you.
What are you doing? It's set up. You gotta get out of there.
Yeah, like this aspect of my of the show is not gonna make it on YouTube. Just I love the. I mean, I do love how like awesome that AI detector is. It's funny to me watching this now. I mean, I've watched this I don't know how many times, but it's like her face actually looks the least realistic out of all the guys that are lined up. Watching this because of that, and you can see what it is that's going on. They're playing motorball, right? Probably a better scene is the or like when she first starts playing. Yep. This movie, if you haven't seen Alita, you are doing yourself a horrible, horrible disservice. Because this is sort of like, I mean, this is very much like what's coming, essentially. Proper resolution. It still doesn't look like it's switching to.
Hugo! Hey, Alita! Is this motorball? Oh, it's just a scrimmage. Do you want to join in?
Yeah, I would love to. There you go.
Hey, everyone. This is Alita.
So you can see it's like, now obviously those are pretty much like the roller blades that we were seeing that are like for sale, but I'm telling you, like I would rather
MagSafe. So this will connect to the new iPhone 15 Pro and 15 Pro Max.
No, that's not it. Where was it? I would
20
much
miles
rather have these
of range.
things.
Everything is controlled from this telescoping handle that also doubles as your controls. You've got your accelerate. It's accelerate.
Right. Everything is controlled by the controller in your hand.
Hi. Best way to learn is to go in.
it's controlled by the controller in your hand. That's why I came to this. Like, again, whoever developed the ones at CES, they clearly watched, that maybe they'd never seen it before or something like that, but, they were clearly paying attention to Alita or something similar, right? And, like, look at the way that they are, right? Like, they don't necessarily, like, move like you would if you were rollerblading, right?
Oop, sorry. You can accelerate and access your brakes, switch the wheel.
It's
double
the same
the
as
miles for a reasonable 12 or so miles per hour. You can expect to.
There's no way that that's not going to be a sport. There's just no way. Like, I'm so looking forward to that as a sport. I didn't get to a lot of what I wanted to get to, and definitely didn't cover everything from CES because there's just so much. But we'll definitely get back into it next week. It's again, it's just there's a lot to cover, and unfortunately, just not enough. Not only not really wasn't a matter of not enough time. Let's see. I actually want to try this out real quick. Let's see how well this works for you guys. Wow, that went through my speakers like there's no more. Sorry about that. I'm not sure because I can't hear it on my desktop. You guys can definitely hear it. Not way well. Okay. Wow, it's nuts how loud that is. Anyway, it's a cool thing that came with, I don't know, again, it's like another aspect of Streamlabs that makes it a little bit nicer for me to be able to have, like, legitimate, not that the other stuff wasn't from Spotify, which, I mean, Spotify's synth stuff is better. I mean, that, like, people care more about it, I should say. But I like the fact that I do have the ability to do, like, Streamlabs based music. And I want to say there is a lo-fi in here. Where is it? There we go. Because I would never stick you guys with that. There we go. Cool. That's probably much better. Oh, now it's not letting me, it's not letting me hear it. Terrible. I'm just checking it out for myself. Is it still the same sound? At least it sounds like the output sounds really loud. I mean, it's a good beat. Holy crap, yeah. I can't tell. Let's see. Maybe my. Yeah. Let's see. Is that better? No, actually. Let me see. I didn't think. Like, I had my mic level turned down. because I didn't think that I didn't want the mic to get too hot, I guess. But I definitely need to change that around for next time. But overall, and what's awesome is that it won't matter because I can take everything into. No, actually, I didn't think like I had my mic level turned down because I didn't think that I didn't want the mic to get too hot. Okay, so anyway, what's cool about this is that like the lo-fi doesn't interfere on an audio level with what I'm doing. So yeah, so I'm glad that I'm glad you guys came by. If you did come by, sorry that it wasn't a full-on GPT session as usual, but it is what it is. Next week, gonna have Grant Carlisle on. Going to show him some cool stuff that's going on with GPT. Not like because I just want to get his reaction on things, and then I also wanted to get his opinion and his take on everything from CES 24 and see what he thinks about what's coming out, what's coming available, and where the technology is possibly headed. I don't know. I want to get his take on it, and yeah, I don't know if you guys get a chance and you do have GPT-4, you can definitely go to the Explore GPTs. The store is open. You can search for Hub Knowledge, or you can just search HubSpot. If you just type in HubSpot to the search engine, you will be pleasantly surprised to know that yours truly has the highest ranking HubSpot bot on the platform. So very, 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 very happy about that. And a lot of hard work. I mean, honestly, like a lot of hard work went into that bot. So I'm really happy that it was able to climb to the top slot there. I don't know that it is going to get to the top category in, I think I put it under research and analysis. I don't know that it's going to get to the top slot there, but hopefully, maybe one day. There's, the thing is, like most of those uses, some of them are in the 10,000s, right? So, but at least for the HubSpot category, I'm way, 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 way far ahead of anybody else. Anyhow, that's gonna do it for today. Gonna stop her right on time. A little bit short considering we started late. Sorry I'm not giving you that half hour back, but them's the breaks. So I'm glad that you guys stopped by. Glad that you hung out, and we'll get that video out soonish, as soon as I can, and it'll have some great AI goodness on the front end of it. Till then, thanks for coming by to GPT with me.